Imagine this. It's midnight. A storm rages over jagged mountains. No radar, no radio, no runway lights. Just a single F-16, low on fuel, instruments failing, and inside the cockpit, one pilot, alone, flying blind. She doesn't trust the numbers. She doesn't follow the AI. She lands using only the headlights of trucks lined up in the mud. By feel, by instinct, by memory. And then she vanishes. No medals, no headlines. Just a legend whispered in hushed tones. Night Falcon 13. But 7 years later, that same pilot isn't in the sky. She's on the ground, wiping oil off tires, quiet, unnoticed, wearing a faded patch no one dares to name. This is not a story about glory. This is a story about what happens when a hero chooses to stay behind the line so others can make it home. At Ridgewater Air Force Base, the flight line buzzes with young pilots. Loud, confident, dreaming of Top Gun moments. They crack jokes, swap stories, and chase cockpit time like trophies. But among them walks a woman most ignore. Her name is Annika Voss, 31, brown hair tied back, sleeves rolled up, toolbox in hand. She's a civilian maintenance tech, assistant crew chief. Quiet, precise, always early. She doesn't brag, doesn't ask for favors, doesn't talk about her past. She just works. She checks tire pressure, cleans bug splatter, logs every tiny vibration in the engine data, things most pilots would miss. And when the young officers tease her, "You sure you didn't watch too many Top Gun movies? Don't you want to fly, not just fix?" She smiles faintly and walks away. They think she's shy. They think she's inexperienced. They have no idea who they're looking at. One night, an F-16, tail number RW-231, reports a strange vibration at low speed. The duty crew says it's within tolerance. Not a big deal, they say. Let's not delay the mission. But Annika frowns. She removes the panel, shines her flashlight, and finds it, a loose sensor bracket. She pulls the pilot aside. "If you feel that vibration between 160 and 180 knots, she says, voice calm, don't force the nose down. It's not a stall, it's a harmonic echo. Hold 2 degrees positive for 4 more seconds." The pilot laughs. "Where'd you learn that? You talk like you've flown this bird before." She doesn't answer. At dawn, the pilot returns. He did feel the vibration. He did hold the nose up, and the jet smoothed out, just like she said. He looks for her to thank her, but she's already gone, cleaning oil leaks on another aircraft. The next evening, an inspection team arrives. A young officer stops Annika in front of everyone. "Leave the technical calls to us," he says, dismissive. She steps aside, says nothing. But as she turns, the wind catches her jacket, and for a split second, a patch is revealed under her sleeve. Black background, white hawk, silver lightning bolts. Hand-stitched letters, NF-13. An old mechanic freezes. "Wait, that bird, Night Falcon?" Another mechanic drops his coffee, then another. Silence falls, because they know, they've heard the stories. Night Falcon, a classified unit. Dark missions, no lights, no records. Disbanded after a catastrophic mission in 2018. Only one pilot survived. Call sign, Falcon 13, female, German-Austrian descent, vanished without a trace. And now, here she is, not in a cockpit, on the flight line, wiping grease off wheels. A week later, alarms sound, magnetic interference near the northern mountains. Radar flickers. A cargo plane loses navigation in fog and freezing rain. Scramble order, 2 F-16s to escort. Annika runs her checklist. Fuel temp, 1.5 degrees Celsius off, yaw damper, jitter at 210 knots, AOA vane, dust buildup, INS warm start, delayed. She recommends cleaning the AOA vane, critical for angle of attack readings. The young officer waves her off. Save it for tomorrow, tonight's just training. But minutes later, real scramble. The cargo plane is off course. Weather worsening. Annika sees it. The AOA vane on RW231 is reflecting light at the wrong angle. She sprints out, wipes it with alcohol, reinstalls it. An officer yells, "What are you doing? This isn't your training." She steps back. The wind flips her sleeve again. The patch glows under the ramp lights. An older pilot steps forward. "How long were you with Night Falcon?" Annika keeps her eyes down. "Long enough to know that vane will lie if it's got fog and dust on it. Long enough to remember, if you don't fix it, people die." In the operations room, chaos. AI suggests vector 070, but Annika pulls out a paper map, hand-marked with wind patterns, interference zones, temperature shifts. She speaks quietly. "Don't send them to 070. Use 090. Hold FL240 for 40 seconds, then 085. You'll lose 3 degrees right, but you'll avoid the northern vortex." An officer scoffs. "No basis for that." The old mechanic steps in. "Give her 1 minute." 40 seconds later, the cargo plane's signal snaps into focus. Escort stabilizes. Crisis averted. No one celebrates, but everyone notices. When the jets land, the young pilot removes his helmet, looks at her patch. "You've flown combat before, haven't you?" Annika nods, barely. "I've landed when there were no lights, no radio, and no one left behind me." Later, in a classified briefing, the commander waits, a sealed envelope on the table. "Commander, are you Falcon 13? Annika doesn't answer directly. "I'm someone who learned how to bring aircraft home when nobody believed there was a way back." She tells them what happened in 2018. Karst mountains, lightning storm, INS failure. Runway lights out. She was number Dubeonje Bihengsa. Her flight lead disoriented. She landed using truck headlights, then turned her jet to become a runway light for the cargo. Plane. 2 didn't make it home. She tore a corner off her patch, stitched it back with thread from a flight suit to remember. Night Falcon was disbanded. She left the cockpit, became a mechanic, because metal doesn't bring back the lost, and patches aren't trophies, they're promises. Today, Annika doesn't fly, but she teaches informal classes, dark navigation. Pilots learn to fly by feel, land by instinct, trust their bodies when machines lie. She never asked to return to the cockpit, but when a storm knocks out systems across 3 states, it's her students who guide planes home, using paper maps, borrowing light, counting heartbeats. The commander calls it a miracle. Annika calls it Tuesday, because she learned something. Flying isn't about being in the air. It's about bringing people home, sometimes from 30,000 feet, sometimes from the ground, talking someone through the dark. She still carries her worn coin. No lights, still land. And on her wall, her old patch hangs. Below it, handwritten, "For those I couldn't bring home." But now new patches appear. Young pilots wear them, not because they flew in the dark, but because she taught them how. Final words, voice soft, emotional. So the next time you think a hero has to be in the cockpit, remember the woman on the flight line. Quiet, unseen, holding a flashlight, a map, and a promise. Because sometimes on the most important flights are the ones you guide from the ground. And the real call sign isn't Falcon 13, it's bring them home. If this story moved you, if you know someone who leads from behind, who teaches instead of performs, who guides instead of commands, share this. Because some heroes don't wear wings, they wear patches and silence and love. This is Beyond True Stories. We tell the ones that shouldn't be forgotten.